जय।
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद् स्वयं वेसेसी भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
जय
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। वृंद देवी की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता धारुर की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees. हरे कृष्णा. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Shri Gaurang Mahaprabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna. Dear devotee, please accept my most humble, respectful obeisances at your lotus feet. So, today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 41. Start with the prayer. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 ॐ नमो
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवयां भगवती उत्तमश्लोकीन् भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विदनोति सुहृत्सताम्। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाशदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटि वैष्णवेभ्यो की जय। So, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 41. अतैतानि न सेवेत बुभुषु पुरुषः क्वचित् विशेषतो धर्मशीलो राजलोकपतिर्गुरुः। अतैतानि न सेवेत बुभुषु पुरुषः क्वचित् विशेषतो धर्मशीलो राजलोकपतिर्गुरुः। अतैतानि न सेवेत बुभुषु पुरुषः क्वचित् विशेषतो धर्मशीलो राजलोकपतिर्गुरुः।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण।
अथैतानि च सेवेत बुभुषुः पुरुषः क्वचित् विशेषतो धर्मशीलो राजा लोकपतिर्गुरुः।
हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू।
अतैतानि न सेवेत बुभुषु पुरुषो क्वचित् विशेषतो धर्मशीलो राजलोकपतिर्गुरु। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। अद्वैतानि न सेवेता पुरुषो कति विशेषतः धर्मशीला राजलोकपति गुरु।
हरे कृष्ण। अथैतानि नाशेवाता बुभुषुः पुरुषः क्वचित् विशेषातो धर्मशीलो राजलोकपतिर्गुरुः। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
अतैतानि न सेवेत बुभुषु पुरुषं क्वचित् विशेषतो धर्मशीलो राजलोकपते गुरु हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll go for synonyms. Atha, therefore, etani, all these, na, never, sevata, come in contact, bhushuhu, those who desire well-being, purushaha, person, kvachit, in any circumstances, visheshataha, specifically, dharmashilaha, those who are on the progressive path of liberation, Raja, the king, Lokapatihi, public leader, Guruhu, the Brahmanas and the Sannyasis. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charan Arvindesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Therefore, whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas, and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the four above mentioned irreligious principles. Purport. The Brahmanas are the religious preceptors for all other castes, and the sannyasis are the spiritual masters for all the castes and orders of society. So also are the king and the public leaders who are responsible for the material welfare of all people. The progressive religionists and those who are responsible human beings, or those who do not want to spoil their valuable human lives, should refrain from all the principles of irreligiosity, especially illicit connection with women. If a Brahmana is not truthful, all his claims as a Brahmana at once become null and void. If a sannyasi is illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi at once become false. Similarly, if the king and the public leader are unnecessarily proud or habituated to drinking and smoking, certainly they become disqualified to discharge public welfare activities. Truthfulness is a basic principle for all religions. The four leaders of the human society, namely the sannyasis, the brahmana, the king, and the public leader, must be tested crucially by their character and qualification. Before one can be accepted as a spiritual or material master of society, he must be tested by the above mentioned criteria of character. Such public leaders may be less qualified in academic qualifications, but it is necessary primarily that they be free from the contaminations of the four disqualifications, namely gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणि निर्विशेषणिवादिभाषणतदीशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरि ओम् तत्सत् Hare Krishna. So, translation, we can go again. So, therefore, whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas, and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the four above mentioned irreligious principles. Thank you. You can. So, let me also open here. Just a minute. So here we are seeing how Kali Purusha occupied 5 places. Right. So King Parikshit Maharaj initially he gave the place 4 places, and then finally he said like, okay, I will not be enough, that this is 4 places is not enough, and then finally he gave the 5th place, which is gold, right? So 5 places Kalipurusha occupied to live in this Kali Yuga. So mainly it is mentioned in this purport that who are all is very important, that they have to take care that they should not engage in these irreligious principles, because these 4 plus the place of gold is actually the place where Kali's occupation is there. I mean, Kali's main what to say, like the Kali's the main position is there. So if we engage in those activities, so then that means we are easily captured by Maya. So then it is not possible to get out of this material world. So if we are under the clutches of Maya, then it is not possible to come out of this material world. So that's what here specifically Sukadeva Goswami is saying, that we should actually, and especially he is telling, whoever desires progressive well-being. So like everyone wants to progress in their life, right? So people, materialistic people, they want to progress in materialistic life, but as a spiritualist, that everyone wants to progress in spiritual life. Like so much we did, at least now we take up the spiritual process, so now we should we should progress in our spiritual life. So that's why particularly here Sukadeva Goswami is saying, like, who are all, especially they have to be very careful. So kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas, and sannyasis. So these are the very, very main people that they should not come in contact with these 4 irreligious principles, which is, that's what our Srila Prabhupada gave us a 4 regulative principles. So no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. So these are the 4 regulative principles we should not come in contact. So why particularly these people? So because they are representing as a society, when king is representing the whole citizens, and as a leader he is representing the whole society, and also as a brahmana in the varnashrama system, brahmana is the topmost, right? So brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra is the brahmana is the topmost. So these people, and also the sannyasis, because the sannyasis always wants being compassion upon all others. So if they are pure, then only they can impress the citizens to take up the spiritual process. If the purity is not there, then they cannot actually give any spiritual knowledge. And that's why Srila Prabhupada always says purity is a force. Like, we can know many things, like, okay, I know all the scriptures, I know all the Vedas, but if the purity is not there, like, we can speak and listeners will come and listen and they will go, like, it will go in one side and it will go in the other side. Like, one year it will go, and the other year, once class is over, then, oh, then it is like very nice class, so that's all. So but actually when the impact will happen in the heart of the listeners or the speaker, both, because it is not that it is actually the speaker is more like they know everything and the listener is not. It's not in this spiritual topic, it's not like that, because more than listeners, a speaker is getting more advantage because of speaking. So they have to be, first of all, like, they have to practice it. If we are not practicing and we are just telling, okay, so yes, this is what scriptures are saying, you have to all follow, so then that doesn't impact the listener's heart. So when that impact will happen, when the purity is there. So when we are not pure, then we cannot say to anyone, and even if we say, they won't it won't impact in their life. So that's why Srila Prabhupada says purity is very, very important. Purity is a force. Books are the basis and purity is a force. So that's why here it is mentioned, like, if we want to maintain that purity, then we should not come in contact with these 4 irreligious principles. So and why these are we already discussed, like, why these specifically these people are mentioned, because Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says, yat yat acharati shreshtas tat tat evetaro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartade. So if whatever great people does, so the common people will follow. So they won't see that, oh, they are doing mistake. Even if they do mistake also, the people will follow. Okay, so my favorite fan actor, he is doing, so I will also follow that. And my political leader, he is my fan, so he is doing it, I will do it. So this is a mentality of a general people. So that's why, like, these people are represented as kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas and sannyasis. So they actually have to act as a role model for the whole society. If they are not a role model, then definitely people will not follow. And here, so the brahmanas, it is mentioned that the religious preceptors for all other caste. So again, like when we say brahmana, so it is definitely not per as per the birth, but as per the quality and the character what we are developing. Because many people nowadays in Kali Yuga, even though they took birth in a Brahmana family, but they are not acting as a Brahmana. So in that case, like, we cannot consider everyone as a Brahmana. Okay, so of course everyone have to should not contact with these irreligious principles, but specifically Brahmanas, because they are the one who is actually giving the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge. Because the duty of a Brahmana is to give the spiritual knowledge. That is his duty. Kshatriya's duty is to protect, and the Vaishya's duty is to do business and farming, so that everyone can get their vegetations and food and everything. And as a Shudra, so they have to assist all these three categories of society. So in that case, so Brahmanas role is very very important in the society. So if they are not leading the citizens as in the spiritual knowledge, so then there is no use. Like, then the whole society will struggle in all the, then all problems and fighting, and there is no peace in the society. So that's why, so Brahmanas should be very very careful in not in come in contact with this religious principles. And then sannyasis as well, so other spiritual masters, so they also should follow these things. And also the king and public leaders who are responsible for the material welfare of the people. And just in this regard, like, I heard one story which is from Radheshyam Prabhu class. So he was telling that there is one king, and if you want to go and meet that king, so there is a 4 gates. So in that 4 gates, like, every gate they have certain rules. Like, only if we want to go inside and see the king, we have to follow those rules which is in the gate. So one brahmana was coming. And then he was trying to go inside the kingdom to see the king. So in one gate, so they stopped and they say, so you see, if you want to go and see the king, you have to drink the liquor, then only you can go and see the king. So brahmana is saying, no, no, actually I am a brahmana, that I am living a very genuine life, a honest life, so I don't want to drink. So no, I will go in the other gate. And then he went to the other gate, and then in that other gate, like, it was a meat eating. So they forced that only if you eat the meat, then only you can go and see the king. So then this brahmana said, okay, no, no, I am a vegetarian. And so like, what to say, we are a krishnatarian. Like Srila Prabhupada says, we are not vegetarian, we are krishnatarian, like we are prasadatarian. So we are always eat only prasadam. So I will definitely not take non-vegetarian, so I will skip, like I will go to the other gate. And then the third gate he went, and there is a prostitute. So the prostitute said, like, you have to associate with me, then only you can go and see the king. So this brahmana said, no, I am living a very pure life as a brahmana, so I will not engage in this. So then finally he went to the last gate, and the last gate is gambling. So they said, you have to gamble, then only you can able to see the king. Then this brahmana thought, okay, so I want to see the king, so all the other three is okay, so maybe gamble is not that much serious, so I can play, like just little bit I can play, and then easily I can go and see the king. So then he started playing. So then he started playing, and he started winning, and he's getting so much of money. Oh, he thought, wow, I came to see the king to get money, but I'm already earning a lot of money here. So he was like one game and two game, and he is go on playing, and he is getting he collected lot of money, and he thought, okay, I got lot of money before seeing the king. So because when I go and see the king, king also gives some money. So let me also spend this amount, and then I can go and see the king. I will also get more money. So he thought, okay, how I can spend? Okay, I collected so much of money, I have to utilize it. So let's go and drink the liquor, and then let's go and associate with the prostitute. So in this way, finally he engaged in everything. So and then finally he came to that security guard, and he said, okay, now I satisfied all your rules, now I want to go and see the king. So then the security person, so they said, hey Muda, you are such a foolish person. Actually king is a pure devotee. So he want to test where whoever is coming, so whether they are not addicted to all these four irreligious principles. So he want to test, but you already failed, so you cannot go and see the king. So the main lesson from this story, what we can learn is like, we should not underestimate even a very small thing, like even if it is one, like Krishna says, no, so even if one sense, if you just live it freely, then it can able to drag you to fall down. So we should not think, oh, I'm just watching TV just for some time pass. Oh, I'm just doing this, I just like a game only I'm doing, I'm not doing gambling, I'm just doing like a time pass game. So if we think like that, then it actually drag us fall down. So that's why we should be very very careful. And another story also I heard that in Srila Prabhupada's time, there is one devotee. So his name is Kalidas. So he is so much devoted to Krishna. So he is very pure, pure devotee. But he once, like, he played a dice game just as a it's not but intentionally he went, but somehow like he played it. But he was playing, when he was playing also, he was doing like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He was playing like for every dice, like he was playing Hare Krishna, he was chanting this. So like then actually Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur commented, like particularly in this this comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So like Kalidas was playing the dice, so then people might think, oh, the pure devotees are also chanting holy name and also playing the dice, so I will also go to casino and I will also chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and then I will also play casino. So no, we should not imitate the pure devotees. Like, okay, so Yudhishthira Maharaj played gambling, and so Balaramji played the gambling, and so everyone is playing. Why not we? We are also like, okay, we can also chant and then we can also play. Like, if we think like that, then it will make us fall down. Well, because they are pure devotees, so their consciousness is so advanced, so they cannot able to, even when they are playing also, they are remembering Krishna. But what we do, even when we are chanting itself, we are not remembering Krishna. Then how we can able to do other things and we can able to remember Krishna? It's not possible. So that's why we should not imitate any pure devotees or Bhagavatas. So we should be very careful. So in this particularly, like in these four irreligious principles, it will make us fall down. And Srila Prabhupada specifically mentioned that if we are not following these four regulative principles, then we are not human beings. If we are human beings, because human beings only can follow rules and regulations, animals will not follow rules and regulations. So if we say that, oh, dog, you have to follow the signal, so you should not cross, or the dog will not listen. So but animal, like human beings, know that I have to follow certain rules. So if we are, some people say that, oh, I am independent, like I don't want to follow any rules and regulation, I don't want to get restricted to 16 rounds I have to chant, I don't want all these restrictions, I want to be free bird, I want to do whatever I want. So that is the animalistic behavior. So if you are not following rules and regulations, so we are none other than Srila Prabhupada says, like sophisticated animals. That's all. So there is no difference between the human beings and then animals. The animals are also doing the same thing, and there is no rules and regulations they follow. So we are also doing the same thing, but in a different way, in a sophisticated way. So two-legged sophisticated animals. So that's how we should call, like, if we are not following this four regulative principles. And also, like Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, that those who do not want to spoil their valuable human form of life, then they should follow these four regulative principles. So what is this valuable form of human life? So many people, even that also we are not able to understand, like what valuable, like everyone is getting body, and so now I die and next life I will get another body, and same like human body, like many people are in that assumption that I will get the human form, like 7 janma, so we will take the same human form, like all these speculations are there. So but it's not guaranteed, that human form is very very rare. So in a one of the bhajan, that Bhajahu re mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindure Durlabha Manava Janama Sat Sanghe Bhava Huye Bhava Sindure. So here Govinda Das Kaviraj Goswami, he is telling that, so, oh mana, mind, oh mind, chant the holy name of Krishna. Bhaja Hure Mana Shri Nanda Nandana. Who we have to chant? The son of Krishna, son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna. So we have to chant. Why? Durlabha Manava. So the human form of life is very, very rare. It's not easy. Like 8,400,000 species. In that 400,000 species is only human beings, and in that 400,000 species, like there are asuras, there are demons, and there are demigods, and there are different types of human beings are there. So particularly to get a human form of life in this earthly planet is so rare. Even demigods are waiting to take birth as a human being in earth planet, because in as a human being in demigod planet, they don't suffer much. So if there is no suffering, then there is no possibility of thinking about the Lord, right? So we have so much of suffering in this world. Even then we forget about thinking about Lord or being grateful. So COVID condition comes, so then some people at least think, so even some people, they go against, oh, why God is so arrogant, like why he is doing all these things, right? So actually God is giving a situation so that you can remember Krishna, but still people are not able to take that seriously. So that's what, like human form is very very rare, and in that human form, getting association of devotees, durlabha manava janama satsange, getting association of pure devotees and discussing Bhagavatam like this is so rare. It's not happen in anywhere. Like you can see, like in Philadelphia, how many people are there? In whole Virginia, how many people are there? But how many people are joining for Bhagavatam, right? So not everyone can study Bhagavatam, not everyone can study Bhagavad Gita, not everyone can come into spirituality. Forget about Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, come into spirituality. Like being an theistic person is very rare. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, so when recently when we are studying, so in a commentary, so we study that it is mentioned that how it is very rare of seeing a pure devotee. So in that it is given as a category out of many living entities. So human form is rare, right? So that is the first one. In human form, there is atheistic people and theistic people, and theistic people are very rare. So most of them are atheistic people only nowadays. Like in current generations, God means, oh yeah yeah, hi bye, that's all. God means that's all God. There for them there is no more than that. So even that also it is not coming. So in that human form of generations, so only very few are theistic people, and in that theistic people, very few are personalism. There are many impersonalism is going on. Oh, God doesn't have form, like God is light, and all those speculation also going on. So in that theistic people, very very rare who accept the personal form, right? And in that accepting personal form, so many people are sakama bhaktas. Sakama bhaktas means like they do bhakti because they want something from God. So out of those many people, like very few, in that few, like we drag down, like it is just dragging down, like we are reducing the quantity from how much people are there, like one reducing. So like that, if you see, like very few people are who are actually doing sakama bhakta, and in that so in few people are doing nishkama bhakta. So most of them are doing sakama bhaktas. So whoever doing without expectation are called nishkama bhakta. In out of nishkama bhakta also, most of the time they also fall down because of some subtle attachment. Because of some subtle attachment, so they also fall down. Without falling down, there are very few who will actually get into the liberation. So out of millions of those liberated person, one becomes a pure devotee. This is the description which was given in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So out of those many millions of liberated person, we can see how many human form, in that how much we drag down, and only out of million of liberated person, one becomes a pure devotee. So it is, bhakti is not so easy. And of course, like, it's not to discourage that okay, bhakti, we cannot do bhakti. Krishna is so merciful that he, in Kali Yuga, he gives a very easiest form of chanting the holy name. So by chanting holy name, have everything. We don't have to think about anything. Oh, I want to do that process, that austerity, this austerity. No, very simple. Krishna knows about us. So this Kali Yuga people cannot do anything else other than chanting. So, and this chanting, we might think sometimes, oh, if we ask some people come and do some service, so if we say that okay, you can sit and chant, so we will call you, you sit and chant. So they might think, oh, chanting I can do later, let me do other service, tell me what I can do. Because they don't think that chanting is actually more important, or chanting is not much big service. So right, so that's how most of them are thinking. But actually, Harinam can able to give anything. So which Harinam can give Krishna Prema. What else to think about other things? So Harinam is so powerful. So if we just do Harinam, we can attain Krishna Prema. So it is topmost. So the point why I'm trying to say this, bhakti is so not so easy. So even though it is simple process, but still we are not able to take up that process because we are addicted to these things. These four regulative principles, if we are not following. So grossly, yes, we join ISKCON, then we started following these four regulative principles. Yes, I am following four regulative principles, so I am pure. So we cannot say that, because we are doing in a indirect way. Sometimes we can say that we are saying that no meat eating, right? So no meat eating means grossly I can say I am not eating meat. But what is the ultimate principle for that meat eating? No violence, right? So no violence. So that is a principle for no meat eating. So I can say that okay, I'm following four regulative principles, I am not eating meat, so then I am pure. No, I cannot say that, because the principle is mercy, compassion, no violence. Even if I am not eating but still I am violent to other people, then how I am following four regulative principles? Right? So I cannot say that I am following no meat eating. So because the principle, the behind principle is mercy, compassion, these should be there. If that is not there, if we are fighting with others, and if we are putting down others or being violent to others, so then that is not actually we are following for regulative. So that is what actually dragging us to not to get the taste in the bhakti life. So that's the main reason that our acharyas are saying that, so if you really want to progress in bhakti life, do three things. So what are the three things? So chant holy names in the morning program, like morning in the morning sadhana. You do morning sadhana very sincerely. Actually, not even three things, two only. So do your morning sadhana sincerely. Finish your 16 rounds before the before morning 7 o'clock, or in the Brahma Muhurta time, and then don't criticize. So these two things, if we can able to do, we can get Krishna Prema easily. These two things we have to do. So one is chanting, finishing our 16 rounds before the, during the Brahma Muhurta time, and not criticize any devotees. These two things, if we can follow, then holy name can give anything. We don't have to complain anything in our life. So everything will go very smoothly. So the problem is we are not doing focused chanting. Like most of the time we missed in the morning time. If we are missing, then the rest of the days or in the mode of passion and ignorance. So then what we will do, like we just have to finish our round. So that's why, oh, I have to finish our rounds and we will do other tasks and we will one hand. So that's what one time Amrendra Prabhu was saying, that after coming to ISKCON, like all the devotees are becoming so active, like both hands will work. One hand chanting, other hand will do some other work. So that's how, like, because we are doing because we have to do. We don't have that taste, or we don't have that prema that I have to chant the holy name. So that is not there. So I'm speaking, but I'm also struggling. That's why I'm speaking for myself also, that so these things, like we have to become serious. So if we can become serious, so then we have to very carefully see that these four regulative principles, so not just grossly, like how we are gambling is basic principle is not cheating. So but are we not cheating anyone? So we have to see in that principle, we should not cheat. We should not we should be very humble and compassion and very merciful, not being violent to others. And then illicit sex, like illicit sex in not grossly we are engaging, but how much our mind is contaminated. So by thinking about others, like we have to think every woman as a mother, but how much our mind is getting contaminated by seeing these movies and billboards, like wherever everywhere it is, they are just propagating that only, that and also like the dressing of the women also gone very bad in this Kali Yuga. So because of that, more illicit connections started. So all these things, even though externally we say I'm following four regulative principles, but these things are actually in a subtle way, it is still we are not following it. So we have to very carefully see. So illicit sex and gambling, and then intoxication. So intoxication, basically we are not doing that intoxication, but still, like we are intoxicated with pride, right? So we are so much pride and proud that, oh, I am such a great devotee, everyone is appreciating me. So we get so much of intoxication of pride, right? So how can I say that I'm following four regulative principles, right? So these things are subtle way it is actually binding us again, and that's why we cannot able to progress. If we really want to progress, so these things in a subtle way, whatever that we are going through, that we have to come out of it and become pure. So that is the only way we can able to progress in our spiritual life. And of course, like what is the process to become pure? Again, chanting the holy name, because our process and the path and the final goal is the same. So everything is harinam only. So that is the only way that we can able to achieve success in our life. So, and then Srila Prabhupada also mentioned here that truthfulness is a basic principle for all religions. So, why specifically he mentioned truthfulness? Because if we see, like in the four pillars of Dharma, truthfulness is one, and that is the only thing which is there in Kali Yuga. All others gone. So, truthfulness also, it is slowly, it is diminishing, right? So, that's why. If we are not truthful, so that means a husband who is not truthful to his wife, who will do illicit connection, right? So, and the person who is not truthful, he cheats, that is gambling. A person who is not truthful, so then when he get cheated, he become violent. So in this way, everything is connected. So that's what in this principle, truthfulness, if we don't follow, all these things automatically will come. So that's the reason Prabhupada has insisted that when we follow these four regulative principles, not just grossly, but also in a subtle way, we have to follow these things. And then our Sri Ramachandra Prabhu, Lord Ramachandra, so when he went to the forest, why he went to the forest? Because he promised that his father vow should not go boon, that whatever he gave, it should not go vain, and he have to follow that, and he know that if he leave his father and go, so definitely Dasharath Maharaj will die. So but why he went? So he have so much of love to his father, but still why he went? Because he want to follow the truthfulness. So that truthfulness is the principle that Ramachandra Bhagavan also showed, that it is very important than anything else. So that's what Lord also personally showed in his example. And so how we can follow or how we can become a good leader, how we can become a good brahmana, so how we can become a good king, all these things Srila Rupa Goswami Path says very easily, that in the first verse, vacho vegam manasakrodha vegam jigva vegam udarapasta vegam etan vegan yo vishaheta dira sarvam apiman prativimsa shishyat. So he says, if you want to become a leader, then you have to follow these things. You should have control over these things, then only you can become a leader. It can be a leader for the society, it can be a king, it can be a brahmana or a sannyasi or a guru who accepts the disciples. It is not just for, like, we generally think, okay, Rupa Goswami Path says that okay, we can accept whoever have this quality, so they can accept disciples all over the world. So that means, how this is guru's quality, it's not my quality. It doesn't have to, I don't have to be follow these things. So that's how we think. But actually this is Srila Rupa Goswami Path gives, that book is very beautiful, like nectar of instruction. So starting from first and the ending, like he takes from neophyte devotee to the prema devotee. So the progress of the verse itself, it's like that. So the first verse itself is actually for a neophyte devotee. So that means, like, even if you want to become a good leader, we have to follow this vacho. You have to control over your speech, right? Okay, now I become a leader, I can speak anything. I cannot do that. I have to be very, very careful in how I am dealing with other devotees, right? So in this regard, I heard a pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was actually, there is one small boy, so he in Jagannath Puri, he always comes and visit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also have so much affection for that small boy. But what happened is, actually that small boy mother, she doesn't have husband, so her husband already died. So for that, like, one devotee, I forgot the name of the devotee, so he came and told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like, I think you don't speak to this boy, because like, this boy have mom and the mom doesn't have husband, so people will speak bad about you, like, don't, because you being a sannyasi, so you don't speak to that boy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh yeah, yes, thank you so much for letting me know and caring for me, so thank you so much. He said, okay. But in that, Srila Prabhupada mentioned in that purport, so Prabhupada says that actually one should not advise his spiritual master. One should not advise his own guru or any senior person. We should not advise. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not react immediately. So did not say, oh, how come you can say I am the Supreme Lord? How come you can come and advise me this? He didn't say that. So what he did indirectly, and not he reacted at that time, so he takes some time, and then after some days, he, and not in front of everyone, he was telling that, okay, so you are very, very caring for me, so I think you can go and visit my mother also, and you can stay there, so that you can care for my mother. So actually he is sending out of his association. In that way, he is giving punishment for his act. So in that, Srila Prabhupada is teaching that how we have to deal with others. So if someone says wrong also, we should not immediately go and advise, giving advice and being harsh with them. So we should not react in that way. Even if it is wrong, we should react like later, bring them separately in a seclusion, and then we have to tell them in a very, very sweet way. So even chastising also should be in a sweet way. So that's how we should speak. That's a control of speech. Like Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, no, the speech which we speak, it should not agitate others. So that is the mode of goodness speech. So if our speak is agitating others, so that is in the mode of ignorance and passion. So that's why like we have to be control in our speech, and also we should control in our mind. Like, okay, our mind should not say that, okay, whatever our mind says we follow, and then we we don't have control over our mind, and we implement that uncontrolled mind character with others also. So in that way, leader should have controlled mind, and also should have control in anger. So okay, so as I am leader, like if someone do mistake, immediately I can show the anger. So no, that rights is not there. So the way that how we deal is very important, and we are dealing with Vaishnavas. So we are not dealing with the normal people. Normal people itself, we should be very careful, because of course everyone is children of God. But when we are dealing with Vaishnavas, it is mentioned that we are dealing with a razor. So when we deal with a razor, how we will be very careful, because even little bit if you cut, it will bleed. So if we are dealing with the Vaishnavas, if we are not careful, then the Vaishnava Aparat will actually drag us down. So that's why we should have control over speech, mind, and anger, and also about the tongue, what we take inside. So when we eat, that's what comes out. What we eat, it will comes out. So when we eat a rajoguna food or tamoguna food, that's what it comes out. So that's why we should always eat a sattva guna, or more to say pure sattva guna, which is prasadam. So then only, then we can control our belly and genitals, and we can able to control our speech. Everything will get controlled when we have prasadam. So in this way, like we should be very careful on, as a leader or anyone to deal with others. So we should follow these things. So finally, I will conclude with these. If we don't want to become victims of Maya, so we should be following these four regulative principles in a subtle way also. And another thing that which is that four regulative principles. So three things we can remember, that is enriched goodness. What we have to do to get away from all these things. So we should enrich our goodness. So whatever the goodness quality is there, we have to enrich it, and then diminish the passion, because everyone have the passion to do something. So that passion should be guided by a senior devotee or by guru, so or by Srila Prabhupada's books. And then curb the ignorance. So being lazy, being hopelessness, fearful, all these things are mode of ignorance. So these things we will get into when we are addicted with these four regulative principles. If you are not following this, so then we caught up with Maya, and Maya will act upon us by these three modes. So if you are careful in these three modes, by enriching the goodness and by diminishing the passion and curbing the ignorance, so then we can able to transform our lust into pure love for Krishna. So with this, we can stop here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, पतित पावन श्रील गुरु महाराज की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Thank you so much. Please forgive me if I say something wrong, and if any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. It was really, nice and strong class, and everything was really clear. About everything was really clear. The story you gave, the story you told us, it was really nice. So we should be always very sincere about everything, the four regulatives, and we shouldn't imitate like senior devotees. That part was really nice, really educational. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for the class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Gopika Mataji, Shyamala Gopika. After a long time, I see you. And a lot of things, a lot of points he told, which I have to correct myself. Because at this age, I feel like, telling, and if something is there, yes, I shouldn't be hurting, but Still, as a senior person, as an elderly person, I feel like telling. I feel so that's not correct actually. I'm feeling now after this class. But sometimes, if your child is there, we feel child is, if she's 100 years or 50 years and 70 years, still they're children only. As long as mother lives or father lives. So they still treat them like that, which is, according to your class, it's not correct. We shouldn't be ignoring, and they are old enough, senior enough, and they will take care of themselves. But which, I don't know how to control. And at this age, senior, a mother, a mother or father, if they are older enough, controlling that is also not easy. Not easy. It's correct, but it's not easy. So the way you're telling all these things, yes, I had to try. That is my lesson today. My taking. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. You are so kind to say that. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice class and very instructive too.
Thank you.
Hare
So
Krishna.
much. Thank you with all your blessings. Thank you so much.
Anybody else has questions or comments, please just go ahead. I think it is a good class when it makes us all think what it is we need to do. So I think in that way, you gave a very nice class with lots of appropriate, good examples. Thank you very much. I don't see any other hands up. So we'll meet again tomorrow morning at 7:50. Thank you again, Mataji, for giving class from Virginia.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity again.
Thank you. We'll expect some more class.
Thank you. Ancha kalpatarupasha
Yes,
kripa
Kripa sindhu bhavo
Vidana
jyoti
bhavane
Vaishnava
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय.
Jai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.